welcome back, and in this segment we will be discussing and meeting with some of the youth who are part of the organization committee of the World Youth Forum, which took place between the 4th and the 10th of November in the resort city of Sharm el-Sheikh, with the participation of more than 3,200 youth from 113 countries. There were so many sessions and topics discussed, whether about reaching sustainable development, countering terrorism, the empowerment of youth, the United Nations Security Council model, and of course talk about cultures and civilizations, and many other topics were discussed in that forum. Actually, today I have with me Bishoy, Naeem and Rasha Asharf. They are not just part of the also organizing committee, but also they participated in some of the regular monthly Egyptian local youth conferences as well. Welcome with us.
Good morning, Rasha.
Good morning.
Good afternoon. Good
afternoon.
Your experience in the youth conferences in general, and in the World Youth Forum in particular, the recent one that took place last week. I want you to talk to me about your experience. Let's start with you, Rasha.
Hi. Firstly, let's talk about the local monthly conferences. Actually, we were creating the content as PLP and as youth in the presidential leadership program. We were creating the content, we were having the sessions. We used to be the stars. The different experience in the World Youth Forum, we were the organizers, we were totally off the stage, we were totally in the back. People were searching for us to help them only to find their way to the halls, they find their way how to talk, and whatever happens to the hotels, at the airports, we were everywhere, people were everywhere to organize the youth forum. This was a great difference in our perspective and how we attend this conference. We were the stars and we were backstage, and this is added a new experience for us all. Actually participating in organizing and helping people, we were feeling like we were serving Egypt, only Egypt, with no other benefits.
Bishoy.
Well, I started from an early stage in the organization and for the marketing strategy for the World Youth Forum. In the midway between the organization and the real event, I was asked to give a training to our presidential leadership program and other volunteers who came to join us and to work with us in serving the idea of the forum. Well, the first thing, as my colleague and friend Rasha said, well, we had to give up on everything that we used to be, like whether it's a title, where you're from, or what you're doing. Well, that's all over right now. You're the World Youth Forum representative. And that's not because that's the image of you or the PLP, the Presidential Leadership Program. It's the image of Egypt, as my friend said. So it was really a stunning experience. You had to give that image and make everyone believe in that image inside the Presidential Leadership Program and the people from the outside. And actually the people from the outside were the challenge, because we in the PLP, we have some kind of spirit that we want to present the best. But people from outside, they're just coming to volunteer. Maybe they didn't get or catch the concept right. So we had to make sure that they do their best to, give the best image of our country.
Well, you've just mentioned that you took part in our local conferences. So which conference you've attended, and what was the topics that you really enjoyed discussing and talking about?
Firstly, I attended the conference of Sharm el-Sheikh 216. I was talking about the entrepreneurship and SMEs and empowering the youth in opening their small projects in Egypt. And actually, I participated on creating the content for the vocational training in Egypt. We were establishing a digital platform for serving all the vocational training in Egypt, and creating a platform for unifying the market demand on the vocational training. This was the most important actually project I participated in. And later on another conference, I participated in preparing the content for unifying the databases in all over Egypt, that we can get one source of getting all the information in Egypt. and this was our role, creating the content and representing our ideas. Then the role was totally different in the recently youth forum.
Okay, what about you, Shoaib? Same question for you. Was this the first time to take part in a youth conference?
This is the second. The first time was in Sharm 2016, and this year's is the second. Well, for me, as it's part of my study, culture and civilization.
What do you study, by the way?
I'm studying right now. I'm a master's student in the Faculty of Arts, Cairo University, literature branch.
Okay.
So the title Clash of Civilizations, rings the bell so much. But Egypt will try to reverse this concept. Well,
Into intercultural communication.
intercultural communication.
Not clash of civilization anymore. It's intercultural communication.
It's integrity.
And it's a subject, by the way, taught in many faculties.
Indeed, but the one that is prevailing the stage, the clash. They don't talk about the integrity. Maybe because certain politics, global politics, tend to this part. But Egypt is trying right now to prevail a concept of peace in the region, and to provide stability for its country and surrounding nations through its soft power politics, etc. So this was the topic that was most important for me.
Well, Rasha, I'd like to ask you about the World Youth Forum itself. I know that you were part of the organization team, but definitely the seminars you must know about them, and you have seen the feedback of the people. You've heard some of the president's speeches in some of them. So I'd like to start by the United Nations Security Forum, although it was one of the latest ones on the agenda, but I consider it important because it teaches us how to deal with international crises. So how do you see that from your own perspective, the importance of it, and what was the feedback of the youth following it?
Actually, unfortunately, I couldn't attend any sessions of the United Nations.
But what was the feedback? Like when people were exiting, you must have seen the feedback of them.
Sure. Actually, I get many feedbacks. Firstly, from the Egyptian youth who attended there. Firstly, they were very happy that we have a UN model in Egypt that was booming for them. Actually, how did you do this? How did it come to the world? They were really astonished, and they were very proud that part of the United Nations model were Egyptian youth. Actually, they just got elected for it and go for it, and they were representative for Ukraine or other countries from Egypt. This was very beautiful, and I get this feedback. I got another feedback from the diplomats attended the conference. Just when they work on the hall that was assigned for the UN model, they feel like I was with them. I was with them there when they entered. They got like, oh my God, how did you do this? This hall. The hall was typically just like the United Nations hall that were held for the meetings there. And the foreign youth, I got some feedback from them. They were astonished, and they were feeling very lucky that they came from their countries to Egypt to attend a UN model. They felt like they are important, and actually some of them were envying us actually on the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and some of them told us that we wish we could have a president just like him, giving the opportunity for youth to be representative for other nations here in Egypt. It was a very good feedback actually from different people.
Are you a member of the presidential leadership program? How did you get to join it, and what was the effects of it on you?
Well, it started in, I believe, in August 2015, when I saw the advertisements on TV and the Facebook. So I decided, well, let's try it, because it had a good program on entrepreneurship, financial studies, economics, and I was venturing on entrepreneurship at this point in my life. So I admitted online, and I got an email saying, well, you passed, you have to deliver your paper to the Ministry of the Youth, then a test, an admission test in Arabic and English, and finally an interview. Well, all these steps will trying to
Shortlist the people.
shortlist the people and get the best of the best for the first batch in presidential leadership program, because that will decide the success of the experience or the experiment. So that's how I joined, and it was a very good impact, had a very good impact on me, because it widened my scope. Actually, I was thinking, well, let me start a project and let me enhance my financial income. But I found out, well, it's not that simple. It could be not only locally, it could be regionally, and perhaps soon it could be international. So it widened my scope. That was the greatest benefit of the presidential leadership program.
What about you, Rasha? What did you gain from whether participating in the World Youth Forum or in the various local youth conferences?
Actually, I didn't get involved in organizing something that big one day. I'm totally focusing on my work that made me didn't get this experience before. Actually, I learned how to get many managers above me. This wasn't available in my work. Actually, I felt like when I am executing, it is totally different than giving the orders. At some times I have to stop and take just the orders, so just we get the image. Sometimes I have to work on another different roles. Sometimes I have to take the responsibility for anything that could happen, because the target there wasn't just we are organizing and we will be a good organizers. No, you are there. You will be, Egypt is good, Egypt is not good. This was a big responsibility. Actually, this is just changed something inside me.
Okay. What are you opting for in the upcoming youth conference or youth forum? Because this is going to be a regular thing.
Yes.
So now you gain the experience. You have been there. What are you looking forward in the upcoming one?
Well, talk about Sharm el-Sheikh 2018. Let's see. Let's look at this event starting from now. We have to make our best, because people have seen our best already. So we have to excel and exceed next time. Maybe the presidential recommendation to have workshops held starting from January until the start of the event in 2018, that will help us get a lot of perspectives and points of view, and that will absolutely make us or help us enhance our next version of the 2018 World Youth Forum.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ms. Rasha, Asharf, and Mr. Bishoy, Naeem, for this interview. And hopefully, I wish all the best for you and all your endeavors. Well, I guess
Thank you, Rasha. Thank you, Bishoy, and wish you luck in the upcoming youth forum.
Egypt, actually.
Yes,
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, stay with us. We'll be right back to continue this edition of Nile Cruise after a short break.